Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report, and today's mailbag is presented by Panda Sups. Make sure you use code TEST for 25% off at pandasups.com. I encourage the nation to go out and try their brand new Test Booster. So this video was recorded during our live show on Tuesday. Remember, we go live every single Tuesday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 p.m. Pacific. This first one is rolling in here from John. It says, why do you think no one has signed Darius Philon? Few reasons. Darius has only been good in a Gus Bradley system. I also don't think he's all that great of a defensive tackle, right? The last time we saw him play, he had a Achilles tear, I want to say, and nobody has gotten him after that. People have brought him in on visits. They have brought him in for physicals, and every single NFL team has said no. So I think you add up all of those reasons on top of, I know past teammates of him have said he was not that good of a teammate. You add all those reasons together, that's why nobody has signed Darius Philon. Let's go to Bill from Jersey. We have to get a definite starting linebacker, corner, defensive tackle. Seems like a lot of risk trying to get all the starters out of our draft this year on defense. There's no doubt a lot of risk in that, but if you can find a few key guys that you can build forward with, that's great. I also don't blame the Raiders for wanting to invest a lot of picks in the defense because you got to be able to find all your dudes that fit the Patrick Graham system instead of bringing in new defensive coordinators and then trying to continue to find different players that fit in different schemes. You have your opportunity to get all your players in your one scheme. Let's go to Patrick B. What's up? Do you think we will see Diablo play that hybrid safety rover at all this season? I don't know what to expect from Divine Diablo. I've been waiting for the breakout. I was hoping that the breakout would happen last season. I liked his versatility a lot when he first came out of Virginia Tech. But to me, he looks like he's a little bit lost right now, and I'm not saying that's all 100% on him. He's had to learn a lot of different schemes already. On top of that, he was dealing with an injury last season. I do hope, though, that this is the season where Divine can take that next step and can be that hybrid safety linebacker that I feel like the Raiders have been looking for so long. They tried to get it with Tanner Muse, did not work. Then they tried to get it with Divine Diablo, has yet to really work. If he can stay healthy, I am curious to see how he ends up pairing with a player like Robert Spillane. Let's go to D4R8. Mitch, should the Raiders try to get Budda Baker? How much will it cost? I mean, we always get questions like this, right? Because big name type of player, could the Raiders go out and get him? In terms of how much money would it cost, I mean, you're looking at like $13 million and then like $14 million over the next 2 seasons. None of his contract is guaranteed. And if you're Arizona, you're probably willing to give him up for a 5th-round pick. Like, it would not cost all that much. But in my honest opinion, I'm good on Budda Baker. Like, I want to see what the Raiders can do with Trevon Merrick. You have Marcus Epps. And if Baker was this just like prime-time player, I know what he's getting paid for. But realistically, in today's NFL, I'm not going to give up extra draft capital and pay all that money to a safety. So for me personally, I am going to say no to trading for Budda Baker. But you guys can let me know, should the Raiders make the deal for Baker, type T for trade, or I want you to type P for pass. Let me know what you're thinking about Cardinals safeties, 27 years old, Budda Baker. Let's go to Cameron Sproul. What's up, brother? Good night, Martin. Mitch, what do you say the Raiders trading back into the first round to get someone they think they have to have? I'm all on board for trading back. I mean, the more and more the Raiders can trade back and build that extra draft capital, I'm good with it. It also helps you have the ability to where if you want to then trade up, if a certain prospect's on the board that you do have to have, that you can make that move. I will say, though, if McDaniels and Ziegler are like, man, we absolutely positively have to have this guy. You're saying back up into the first round. Oh, that's on me. I have put out a few ideas out there that the Raiders could try to go from 38 and get back up into round 1. To me, though, the only players that would be is for a quarterback. Like, I don't think Levis or Richardson slide past 10. If there are rumors right now that Hendon Hooker could go in round 1. If they think that Hooker goes in round 1 and like that's the quarterback that they want and they don't want to wait until 38, then that's the opportunity. The other crazy scenario would be you see one guy just for whatever reason really, really slide down the board a lot further. But I would be shocked if the Raiders traded up from 38 to try to get back into round one, because I think if they did, it would be for a QB. Let's go to I'm Punchy 33. We signed 100 tight ends. Why do people keep having us drafting a tight end in the second or third round? Well, we signed 2. So you have Austin Hooper, and then you have O.J. Howard. The reason is because you got to plan for the future. Both of those tight ends, Howard and Hooper, are both on one-year deals. So that's the reason. The Raiders, I honestly believe, will draft a tight end no matter what in this year's draft. I don't know how early it's going to be, but they want to be able to have somebody that they can plan for the future. And, yeah, you got O.J. Howard. To me, though, there's like 6 or 7 tight ends in this year's class that I would like to get snaps over Howard. Like, I like Austin Hooper a lot, but yes, they will end up taking a tight end in the second or third round. I don't know if I'm 100% sold on that. I like taking a tight end probably like in round 4 or round 5, but it does depend how early these tight ends go, because there is a lot of talented tight ends out there that I do think could go pretty early. Now, today's mailbag is presented by Panda Sups, and if you haven't already, get your hands on their test booster. For everyone out there right now that's, I don't know, looking to build a little bit of muscle, lean muscle, I recommend that you use code TEST for 25% off at pandasups.com. We're going to put the link for you guys available down in the comments and in the description of today's video. You can build muscle strength, improve sex drive, and increase energy levels. Welcome the all-new Panda Test. Panda Test uses clinically dosed ingredients to naturally boost free testosterone levels and reduce stress hormones. So when you look at this list right here of some of the ingredients, I'm going to do my best to pronounce them correctly, but you got something like testosterone, which shown to improve lean muscle mass and increase protein synthesis. What about tribulus? Naturally improves free testosterone levels. Ashwagandha, shown to increase exercise performance, strength, and a fat loss while boosting your testosterone levels. Fenugreek, shown to lower body or blood sugar levels while boosting testosterone. DIM, shown to free up bound testosterone and optimize its performance in the body. And then the one that I always struggle with is Tongue Cat. I don't know. Shown to stimulate the release of free testosterone and reduce fatigue. Bottom line is this: the older and older you get, the less testosterone that you have. If you're still going to the gym and you're still putting that hard time in, why not get the most out of your workout? But even on top of that, it's going to help you throughout the remainder of the day, and she's going to like it too. So use code TEST, 25% off at pandasups.com. Let's go to Sergio with the 7th pick. The Las Vegas Raiders select. I mean, if it's depending on how the board goes and where I think the board goes, I think they go with a cornerback, Devin Witherspoon or Chris Gonzalez. Like, to me, that would make the most sense. My perfect draft, they trade back. I want the Raiders to be able to trade back and stockpile and get more picks to be able to build that defense. And if they then want to get an offensive lineman, if they want to get another player that I don't maybe value as a need right now, but if you're able to trade back and you're able to do that, I like it. Because if you trade back, there's going to be a Chris Gonzalez, a Devin Witherspoon, a Joey Porter Jr. potentially available. And with this year's class at cornerback so deep, I think that you're still going to be able to get one of those top guys in round 1 if you trade back. Let's go to Hellcat Q. What's up, my brother? What jersey you rocking, Mitch? Nation needs to be united. I got my Rebel Montana on right now for all of those watching live. We already did a boot because, hey, if I'm live and I got your jersey on, I do a boot if you send in a $100 super chat. Also, if you want your jersey here on the Raiders Report, Venmo, Mitchell Renz 365, $500. I wear it here on the show. Let's go to Juggernaut 99. Mitch, do you think we draft a linebacker in this year's draft? And if yes, who do you want more, Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell? Do I think the Raiders draft a linebacker? Man, they better. Hell, I could even see them drafting 2. In terms of when they take them, I would anticipate the Raiders taking a linebacker with one of their first 3 picks. And I say that, because of their top 30 visits. The Raiders had a bunch of the top linebacker prospects out there in for a visit. So with that being said, I do think one goes down. If you were to ask me, who do I like more, Drew Sanders or Jack Campbell, I will take Drew Sanders. He is my number 1 overall ranked linebacker in this year's class. Campbell, though, is number 2. Let's go to Aaron T9. Could CJ Stroud actually not go in the top 4. There was a report out there, I think it was from Schefter, that he was like, not all 4 quarterbacks are going to go in the top 4. And then you see Houston, apparently they don't love a quarterback prospect. There's a scenario where, what if nobody trades up with Arizona? They're not going to take a quarterback. And then if on the board at Indianapolis at 4, what happens if there's reports that they like Will Levis? I think that they would probably choose CJ Stroud over Levis, but is there a scenario? Yes. The NFL draft, crazy shit happens all the time. And if Stroud's available at 5, I'm not kidding you. I really, truly believe then it's almost a lock that the Raiders will try to trade up for him because I know Ziegler likes him a lot. Let's go to Aaron. Mitch, are you going live in the draft too? Yes. I will be live for round 1, round 2, every single pick. Not just the Raiders picks. Every single pick. The entire draft. Hell, Jeremy and I, we're probably going to be live almost 2 hours before the draft starts. In a 3-day stretch, you're probably looking at close to 20? I was going to say 24 hours of live content, but round 1 probably won't be as much. All in all, I mean, it's at least 20 hours of 3 days live content. That's for the NFL draft. If you want to watch me interview Jermaine Illuminor, well, guess what? He's going to be joining the show Friday, April 21st. I told Jermaine to post up here during our happy hour show, so he's going to be tuning in when he's free and he's available. He's actually in Texas right now, which when he said that, I was like, shit, pull up to the studio. He's not close enough to Dallas, but he's in Texas, so I'm still trying to work out some of the kinks in his schedule. But he will be on our show on Friday, so subscribe, turn on those noties, and come hang out with him. If you're a loyal watcher, I know you're going to be there, but hey, John Scheffler, Matthew Yoakum, Zelbo, Queen Sarah Otto, Raider Sancho, go tell others to join the show as well. Share it, post it wherever you need to do. The more Raider fans we get here, the more content that we can create. So please, it helps out the show when you subscribe. Let's go to Caleb. What's up, my guy? Is Rock Ya-Sin out of the picture? No. Right now, the reason why you're not hearing a lot about free agency is because the Raider, their concentration right now is all draft. I mean, it's draft, and then little Salt Bay, a little bit more of the draft. After the 2023 NFL draft is when you're going to then see the concentration get shifted back to some of these free agents here a little bit. But for a player like Rock, who's got talent, however, he's got some injury concerns, I could see him waiting until after June 1st when some teams will make some cuts, when teams have those post-June 1st cuts and have a little bit money more freed up for free available. Like, to me, that's when players start to look to sign because they know teams then start having some of that money freed up here a little bit. Let's go to Shane Gamble. Hey, Mitch, when are you doing our live draft? Wait, say that again? When are you doing our live draft? Oh, I've done a bunch of live mock drafts over on Locals, which is kind of where I've been doing those drafts all the time. In terms of doing a draft here, like a fan-led mock, I don't unfortunately think that we're going to be able to do it this year just from a timing standpoint. But, yeah, I've been doing stuff over on Locals nonstop over there. If you're talking about actual NFL draft, I think I answered it already. We're going to be live for close to 20 hours. Let's go to John. If Will Levis is still on the board at 7 and the Raiders take him, would you be upset? Very upset. Will Levis to me is my least favorite out of the 4 quarterbacks. Could I see the Raiders trying to take him? Honestly, maybe it wouldn't surprise me all that much. But to me, I don't understand. Unless it's CJ Stroud, I don't see the point in the Raiders taking a quarterback in round 1. I really don't. Unless you get a guy that just really slides down the board, you trade back in. Because to me, the quarterbacks next year's class are way better than this year's class. It's not all that close to me. And on top of that, he's not going to play this year. And then what? He's going to play in 2024? No. I want to build the defense. I want to go defense with that first pick. Let's go to Henry. Mitch, who is a sleeper tight end the Raiders could draft? So sleeper, I'm going to think here maybe outside of the top. Let's go day 3. How about Cameron Latu, tight end from Alabama? He scored, I believe, the highest score out of all tight ends for the S2 test, which I've talked about before is kind of like decision-making ability. He can catch the football. He's a decent blocker. He does offer a lot of versatility. So the fact that he's a good decision-maker, seems to be a very intelligent person, which I know the Raiders care about, obviously, and offers versatility. I'll say a sleeper tight end to watch out for would be somebody like a Cameron Latu from Alabama. How about this, though? Chugs wants to know, name a tight end that the Raiders should draft this year. My favorite tight end in terms of value, it's probably Zach Kuntz from Old Dominion. I like Laporta from Iowa. Tucker Kraft is another tight end that I like. The problem is, though, when I do my rankings, I have 5 tight ends in my top 60. Like, this tight end class is very, very deep. So, because of that, you know, you might have to reach a little bit on a tight end, and maybe the Raiders decide to do that. Perfect. Here are my top tight ends that I think that the Raiders could draft. Like, all of these players are in my top 60 overall rankings. So for I'm not going to take the only tight end that I would honestly want the Raiders to take at 38 would be Michael Mayer. He's going to be a first-round pick. So I don't want the Raiders to take a tight end at 38. And then the problem is you look at pick 70. I don't know if any of these guys are going to be available at 70. If they are, the value is obviously there. But I am such a person that I want the Raiders to spend their top picks this year on defense. I really, really do. Not on a tight end that's going to probably split reps with O.J. Howard and, Austin Hooper. Let's go to Robert. Don't sign defense until after the draft. We may get everything we want. Robert, I am going to respectfully disagree, man. I don't even understand how the Raiders... Oh, you're saying don't sign D until after the draft. That's on me. I read this as don't draft D until after the draft, but I'm losing it, Robert. I agree. I think right now the Raiders' top concentration should be on the draft. Nail the draft, and then afterwards, that's when you look out to spending some of your other money. Because you got to allocate $14 million to your rookies. You're going to have to give the UDFA some money as well. To me, I think the Raiders probably hold off until after June 1st when they're going to have some more money, and then they can go out and get it. That's on me, Robert. I can't read. Let's go to Raider Man. How about Sean Clifford from Penn State? Clifford stinks. He's a bad quarterback. I will be shocked if he gets drafted. I am a Penn State guy. Sean Clifford is just downright bad. There are certain quarterbacks that they make good college QBs. Y'all know how much I didn't like Sam Ehlinger. Clifford is light years behind Sam Ehlinger. He is only, and I mean only a college QB. He might be able to find himself on a third string practice squad. He's a QB that, Chuck said USFL, XFL in a few years. I could see them potentially going that route. Now, if I missed your question, always remember you can hit me up on social media. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. No matter what, I should also mention that was Raider Man's very first Super Chat. So, Raider Man, thank you for supporting the show. Hopefully you continue to do it here. It's not ignored. It's definitely greatly, greatly appreciated. So, if I missed your questions, comments, hit me up. IG, Twitter, Mitchell Renz 365.